So this is another bottom review for the week, where obviously this weekend, for a review to this weekend's action, Emanuel Navarrete versus Eduardo Núñez card, and Constantin Ursu versus Owen Cooper, defeating against Owen Cooper. So starting off then with the early morning, where we saw Emanuel Navarrete unify the WBO and IBF super featherweight titles after stopping Eduardo Núñez in the 11th round in an elite, and trust me, it was an elite dominant shutdown massacre. Navarrete dominated, didn't he? Dominated the whole fight. Absolutely nullified Eduardo Núñez. I think you saw the levels, didn't you? You saw the levels between the elite and in terms of the world level. Don't get me wrong, Eduardo Núñez done incredibly well in his career. Definitely still a world level fighter, but Emanuel Navarrete is Hall of Fame status, isn't he? Hall of Fame status with what he's achieved in his career. A 3-division world champion. Now he's unified here at super featherweight as well, and the accuracy from Emanuel Navarrete, the stiffness from Navarrete as well, to avoid Núñez's shots as well. And it was a masterclass performance, absolute elite, dominant shutdown masterclass. And this is another lesson. This is another lesson for everyone, including myself. By the way, I said it would be a draw. I thought it would be a draw this fight. I never really doubted Navarrete, because too many people are judging Navarrete from that performance against Belichick. And let's be real, Navarrete, he was stepping up a weight division, wasn't he? But he's suited to super featherweight, isn't he? That's his weight division. This is his domain, super featherweight. And I tell you what, I don't really see anyone really stopping Navarrete at super featherweight. I really don't. Obviously, we'll talk about potential fights in a minute, but Navarrete, it was an elite, dominant, shutdown, massacre, bottom performance, wasn't it, from Navarrete? The accuracy and timing of his punches, especially on the inside as well, are absolutely tremendous performance from Navarrete. And this is why you don't rule him out. But he's similar to Teofimo Lopez, isn't he? He turns up for the big fights, doesn't he, Navarrete? And this was seen as a big fight, an all-Mexican fight. Obviously, I think we overhyped this fight. I think everyone overhyped this fight. I think everyone expected it to be a close fight. Yeah, an absolute barnstorm and all Mexican class, but it turned out to be the complete opposite. It turned out to be a dominant shutdown masterclass performance from Emanuel Navarrete. Núñez would come again. Eduardo Núñez would come again. He just fought someone whose levels above him in Navarrete, and there's no shame in that either. In terms of what next for both, obviously Núñez would go back into a comeback fight, maybe then stick into Katate, the user of that fight. I think that would be a good fight for Núñez. And but in terms of what next for Navarrete, obviously the Charlie Suarez is mandatory for a rematch with Navarrete. A Shaki Foster and Wim Ford were done that at Winside, so they're looking to day it on. And there's also the option of the winner of Chazza Dickens versus Antti Katate, which I do think is a winnable fight for Navarrete. That fight, I would expect Navarrete to be the winner of that fight, to be honest with you, because I do think them two are very good. Dickens and Katate are very good, but Navarrete just that level above, isn't he? Just that level above. Obviously, Suarez mandatory for the rematch. I think that will probably happen next. The rematch of Charlie Suarez. Because I think Fox and Wayne Ford will probably day it on. And it's either done with the Charlie Suarez rematch or the winner of Dickens versus Katate. Depends how that fight does, isn't it, as well? So, but there's a huge possibility. I think Navarrete wants to be undisputed, doesn't he? He wants to be undisputed at super featherweight, and I think he can become undisputed. I think the only test for him is probably Forza, a Shaki Forza and win forward. There'll be a test for Navarrete to stop him becoming undisputed. But I think Navarrete would beat Dickinson or Katse, one of them two. He will beat one of them two, in my opinion. So I think that's the aim for Navarrete now before he retires, is to become undisputed at super featherweight. And yeah, and it was just an elite masterclass performance as well, wasn't it? And we now move on to the next one, and Wayne's has done 2-0 up in the Old Firm. Wow. Up next, we saw Emiliano Fardas beat Judson Quintana after the referee called the fight after round 9. A very tough earning fight for Fardas. I said it'd be a tough fight. I did say it'd be a tough fight for Fardas, but I still expected Fardas to win, which he did. But I think he was helped by the referee there by referee calling the fight. Obviously, Fardas was winning the fight, but I thought Quintana for me earned the right to see the final round of the fight, in my opinion, because he was punching back, he was fighting back against Fardas, and yet he did have some joy against Fardas during the fight. Of course, Fardas was still winning the fight for me. And yeah, it's a fight that Fardas needed for me. It's a fight Fardas needed, a tough yearning fight for him. And Quintana, with his background, with his boxing background, he'll come again. He'll be a good gatekeeper than someone as well, Quintana. He'll be a good test for someone as well. And but in terms of what next for Fardas, for me, I would love to see this fight next. Emiliano Fardas versus Gabriel Venezuela. I think that's the right next step up for Fardas. I think that's the right step up for him. I know he's dreamt of having a fight with Teofimo Lopez, but I don't think that fight's happening now. Unless Fardas moves up to welterweight to fight Lopez. Because Teofimo Lopez looks like he's going to go up to welterweight now and move on to super lightweight. And Fardas, I think Fardas will have a fight next with someone like Gabriel Venezuela. I think that's the right step up next for Fardas. And I think that'll be it then. Another tough yearning fight for Fardas, in my opinion. So I think for me, that should be the fight next for Fardas, in my opinion. Up next, we saw Abel Ramos finally getting a justified decision, unlike his last fight against Mario Barrios, defeating Tadmir Smalls by split decision to hand Smalls his first career loss. With the body shots from Abel Ramos were key to win the fight. Wonderful body shots weren't from Abel Ramos. Abel Ramos is no mud, people. He's no mud. I can't believe it. For me, Abel Ramos should be a world champion. Should have been a world champion. He was robbed against Mario Barrios. I mean, is that what could be next for Abel Ramos? Could he get his justified world title shot? Or I just don't think so. I just don't think he will. I do see the Barrios rematch happening. I think Abel Ramos wants to settle that score against Mario Barrios. And Mario Barrios has lost to Ryan Garcia. He's about to Ryan Garcia now. So I do think Abel Ramos, in terms of what next, does deserve a rematch against Mario Barrios. I think I wouldn't mind Ramos getting a title shot. Honestly, I wouldn't mind it, to be honest with you. I don't agree with the split decision win against Smalls. I thought Abel Ramos won clearly for me. I thought he won clearly by announced decision. I think Tadmir Smalls underwhelmed, didn't he? He underwhelmed this morning against Abel Ramos. And at the end of the day, Abel Ramos, I'm not being funny, it shouldn't be a shock that he won because he was a world title challenger against Manuel Barrios. And it was obviously going to be a huge step up for Tabmir Smalls. And obviously, I think we all expected Tabmir Smalls to win, especially with his background. And but maybe he needed that defeat, Smalls. He needed that defeat. Was Smalls too small for this weight division? Because to me, Abel Ramos not too big for Tabmir Smalls, in my opinion. Does Tabmir Smalls need to move up? Or maybe move back down? Because Tabmir Smalls did look small. And or maybe if this wasn't for me, just maybe wasn't the right matchup for him. Because styles do make fights, and I think Abel Ramos' style was all one for Tabmir Smalls, even though I thought it wouldn't be. To be honest with you. Or maybe it's just an under par performance from Tabmir Smalls, and he probably needed that defeat just to wake him up. But obviously, let me know down below in the comments if you agree with that. Obviously, then this Navarrete versus Núñez card started off with Jordan Martinez and Arturo Tardines fighting to a fight of the year, 10 rounds split draw. I thought a draw was a fair result. In my opinion. I thought Tardines was very under par for me. Very under par performance from Tardines. I expected better from him. Or it's just because he's now stepped up, as he had it easy in his recent fights, Tardines. Maybe. But I think we need the rematch. Obviously, the rematch will surely happen. Surely the rematch will happen. I think we all want to see the rematch, right? Don't we? We all want to see the rematch on another undercard. This rematch as well. A draw was a fair result. I scored it a draw. Personally, I just scored it a draw. If anyone did win, though, you'd have to say Martinez for me, because I thought Tardines was quite under par for me, because I expected a better performance from Tardines. Even though Tardines still has some joy in the fight, but I've seen him perform better. But yeah, the rematch surely happens next, in my opinion. And finally, we saw Constantin Ursu dominate on Cooper, obviously over in the UK, to claim the Brits and Commonwealth welterweight titles by unanimous decision. And for me, a clear winner for me, Ursu. Ursu was a clear winner. I said in my preview as well. With the background of both fighters, Ursu had a better background, better ounce of pedigree as well. I expected Ursu to win the fight, and he did. I always felt it was going to be a tough fight for Owen Cooper. When you look at both of them, I do think Ursu is still that level above Owen Cooper, and that showed in the fight for me. Owen Cooper's still not a bad fighter. He just came up against someone who's just a level above him, especially when you're comparing amateur pedigrees as well. In terms of what next, well, Owen Cooper will probably do in a comeback fight, try and get a comeback win fight. That's what Owen Cooper will try and get. While Ursu, there's a lot of options for Ursu. There's Chris Condor, Echo Esman, Pat McCormack, Connor Walker, Hiram Huband, the name. He's got the name, hasn't he? Huband. Or he could go to Hooper Neville. Or Constantin Ursu could go to Hooper Neville. Or even Tyrone McKenna. I just forgot about him, who Hiram Huband beat. The Tyrone McKenna. There's a lot of options for Ursu, isn't there? To fight next. I wouldn't mind any of them fights, to be honest with you. Will we fight Chris Condor? Probably not. Echo Esman, good fight. That should be up there. Pat McCormack, potentially could happen. I don't see Conor Walker happening. I think Conor Walker wants to try and go for a world title shot, or Hooper Neville. Hiram Huband, could see that happening. Because at the end of the day, it's a name for Ursu, isn't it? It's a name, Hiram Huband. or there's Hooper and Neville as well. So any of them options you can see happening. There's a lot of fights now for Ursu after that win. After that win for Ursu, there was always going to be these names next for him. That could be next for him. And they're all good fights. All of them are good fights. I do think he does beat Chris Tondo, because Cooper beat Tondo, so you'd expect Ursu to beat Tondo. Echo Esman, tough fight for me. That's a tough fight, especially with Echo Esman's stamina. Pat McCormack, I think he beats McCormack, Ursu. Conor Walker, tough fight. But then, I think he has a chance in Conor Walker, in my opinion. Harlem Hoopan, 50-50 for me. Especially when Harlem has got that Hoopan name. And then you got the Hooping Neville for me. But yeah, let me know down below, what do you think should be next for Constantin and Ursu? And yeah, that is it from my boxing review. I will be back next week for the boxing review, and I'll be back for more boxing predictions as well. But obviously, Emanuel Navarrete unifying the WBA and IBF super heavyweight titles after stopping Eduardo Núñez in the 11th round. A dominant shutdown masterclass. This is, for me, he's the standout for me. Navarrete is the standout with that dominant shutdown masterclass. And that's why you should never doubt the 3-division world champion and a Hall of Fame contender as well. So feel free to leave your thoughts down below on every fight I spoke about down below in the comments. And I'll see you all in the next one. As Emanuel Navarrete stops Eduardo Núñez in an elite dominant shutdown masterclass, and Constantin Ursu dominates Owen Cooper to claim the British and Commonwealth welterweight titles.